Speaking of Cujo, speaking of John Tyler, we are so pleased to be joined on the phone by Ricklan Holmes, the head coach of the John Tyler Lions. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing just fine. Congratulations on your win and really on your incredible run. I guess my first question, you guys start off 0-3, and honestly, you guys looked up here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we're like, okay, what's wrong with John Tyler? And now all of a sudden, you guys are maybe the hottest and most dangerous team in the state. What happened after that 0-3 start?
The young guys grew up. The little cubs were kind of starting to become lions. We started out with a very young and talented team, but, there's nothing like experience to help you win football games, and that's what they gained those first 3 games.
So I want to take you back to your last loss, not to dwell on negative things while we're talking about positive things, but you guys lose to your rival John Tyler, or Tyler Lee, 69-38, and the defense doesn't look good. Coming out of that game, and you guys go into your bye week before you start district play with White House. What did you tell your kids after that Tyler Lee loss and before that White House win that sparked them?
Fellas, we're getting better. Tyler Lee has a potent offense. With the skill guys that they have, they're very explosive. They can score at will. And like I told our kids, that's an emotional game. And when you go into there, you got to make sure you keep your emotions in check and play the type of football that we need to play. And going into that game, finishing up that game, we didn't play like we were supposed to play. And as you see with the final score, it showed. So what we focused on that bye week was everything that we had been doing. We just made sure we made the necessary corrections on it as a coaching staff and stayed the path that we had started, because we knew going into those first 3 games that preseason that it was going to be rough for us with the young team that we had.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tyler Lee can score with the best of them. We're joined by Ricklan Holmes, head coach John Tyler here on DCTF Live. Coach, the guy who has really caught my eye is your signal caller, Bryson Smith, a guy who, just a junior, but it seems like he has turned it on of late. What can you tell our listeners across the state about your junior quarterback?
He's becoming the quarterback that we know he can be. He's a kid. He's composed, has speed, has size, has arm strength. He's just out better each week. And, going into the season, that's what we knew we was going to have to get from him. And what he's doing right now is he's doing exactly what Bryson Smith knows that Bryson Smith can do.
The guy that people are going to know about on your defense is probably Pierre Leonard, a guy who's really made a name for himself in recruiting circles. But you guys got plenty of talent on that defense. Besides Pierre Leonard, who do you look at as your big-time playmakers defensively that have led you on this charge?
Well, it has to be the guy that's next to him. That's Braylon Jones, and he's been going both ways. He's been a starter at the tackle on defense, and he's been a starter at center and guard on the offense side of the ball. So, he stands out also. The linebacker play the emerge of Trey Allison, which is also a 2-way starter at linebacker and running back. And then Bryson Gibson, which plays at safety. He's a guy that made a lot of plays for us last year, and he's still making plays for us this year. And then the emerge of our sophomore linebacker, Dwayne Jones. He's starting to be that guy that we're going to be able to depend on, not just the remainder of this season, but the next 2 years.
We're talking with Ricklan Holmes, head coach of Cujo, John Tyler Lions, on DCTF Live. Coach, you are you've got some pedigree yourself on the field. You played at John Tyler before going on to Oklahoma State and getting a spell in the NFL. How fun is it for you to come home and coach your own alma mater and kind of turn them into, what is now the hottest team in the state?
It's a dream, man. It's a dream that became a reality. When I first came back to John Tyler in 2007, coming from Oklahoma, Putnam City High School in Oklahoma, I just wanted to have the opportunity to coach at my alma mater. And Coach Derek Rush, he gave me that opportunity to be his secondary coach, and I fit well with that system that he had running. And when he moved on, he let me know that he wanted me to take over, and I took that as a blessing from him. Saying that hey, you are doing the right things. You can continue to have this program going in the direction that it needs to be going in. Because when Coach Rush was here, we started out 1-9, and as you see before he left, we had made semifinal and quarterfinal appearances. So he had us going back in the right direction. I just had to make sure that I kept it going in the direction that it was going and get over the hump.
Absolutely. And now I do have to tease you a little bit, because when we announced that you were going to be our first guest on DCTF Live, some people asked if you could contain your comments to just the 15 minutes that we were allotting you. Would you like to respond to these terrible critics on Twitter?
I think he's doing great.
I'm telling you, yeah. Would you like to respond to these critics publicly?
Well, one of the critics is a guy that I coached with for a short time here at John Tyler. He knows who I'm talking to. He's doing a great job down there at Brian Rudder. He's gonna get those guys turned around. So when he made that comment on Twitter, that's just something to be expected from him.
I'm telling you, there's no more savage, breaking of the what than in the coaching ranks.
Yes.
You guys are savage to one another. And I'm sure when we
it's all out of love. It's all out of love and competition, man.
For sure. And so you're coming off of two great wins, a win over a big rival and a very good team in Lufkin, and a team over Ennis. Is there a concern for you? You've got three teams coming up in Corsicana, Jacksonville, and Nacogdoches that, on paper, you guys will be favored in. Is there a concern for you about keeping your kids focused after these two really big games in the middle of your schedule?
No, because of the mind frame that our kids have. We go into every game to beat John Tyler, not the team that we're playing, but to beat John Tyler. Because we feel like we're one of the best teams in the country in the state of Texas. So if you go out there with that mind frame to beat the best, you should always play like you're the best. And whether we're playing a team that is whether we're playing a team that's a 6-0 or we're playing a team that's 0-6, we got to go out there with the same mind frame and mentality to go out there and dominate for all 4 quarters.
He's Ricklan Holmes, the head coach at John Tyler, joining us on DCTF Live. And Coach, one more question for you. Out there in East Texas, you guys have a lot of pride. And I'm curious, you hear a lot of folks around the state, including us, talking up DFW and talking up Houston and talking about these really deep, talent-rich areas of the state that have been bringing home state championships. Do you guys hear that? Is that something that you guys wear as a chip on our shoulder? Are we fueling you guys?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, every coach, every team, every football player in East Texas know that the real football is played here in East Texas. It started way before we got here, and it's going to continue to go in that direction while we're here. Because with the type of talent that we have here in East Texas, and it starts all the way down at the 2A and it goes all the way up to the 6A level with Robert E. Lee, it lets you know that we play real football down here too, and sometimes we get overlooked because we're in the piney woods of East Texas.
I think you're right, and we try to catch ourselves whenever we do that because we know you guys are dangerous, and you guys have shown it all year long, and especially of late. He is Coach Ricklan Holmes of John Tyler Lions. You can follow him on Twitter at PokesAce. That's at PokesAce. Do you want to explain your Twitter handle?
It has to do with my college nickname, which is the Cowpokes, which they call the Pokes. Well, that's why we always say Go Pokes. And then Ace is the number 1, and that was my number that I wore when I was at Oklahoma State.
Man, he's got a lot better Twitter handle than me. That's really good. He is Ricklan Holmes, head coach at John Tyler. Coach, continued success the rest of the way, and maybe we'll see you guys in Houston.
That's the plan.
All right, we'll see you then, Coach.
See you, Coach.
Thank you for having me on there.